Have you ever asked yourself, where did I put my car keys? Or what's the name of that song? We all have memory lapses sometimes, but how do we know when they're a cause for concern? Dr. William Power, a gerontologist with Southern Ocean County Hospital, is here to talk about memory loss and memory enhancement. Dr. Power, welcome to The Best Years.
Thank you for having me.
We think that memory loss is to be expected as we age. Many of us believe that. Is that true? Is it just absolutely going to happen to everyone?
No, that's not true. It's a common fallacy to think that as we age, the memory gets worse. I have patients in their 90s in my office practice who do the New York Times crossword puzzle every day, and their memory is absolutely perfect.
So I know this is a difficult question or a complicated question, but what are some of the causes of memory decline? Why do people experience cognitive changes in dementia?
Well, probably the most common one in our society is Alzheimer's disease. That is caused by a defect in the brain that is either acquired genetically or environmentally, which causes parts of the brain to fail. And one of the first signs of Alzheimer's is simple memory loss.
But there are also many other kinds of dementia. What are some of the causes of dementia?
There are other kinds of dementia, which are relatively common. There's alcoholic dementia. If you've had lifelong excess use of alcohol, your brain can fail. There is a vascular dementia, which can be caused by multiple small strokes. That's relatively common. And there's one that's associated with Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease associated dementia. That's relatively common.
But the good news is, by taking care of oneself with certain lifestyle changes, we can actually help to prevent memory problems. What are some of the most important things people should do to prevent memory problems from starting to begin with?
The most important thing really starts at an early age. You have to do the very basic things to keep everybody healthy all the time. You have to exercise and eat right. They're the two key things. But you have to do that from a very early age. When people talk about the Mediterranean diet being so good for memory and longevity, they forget that they can't just jump into the Mediterranean diet at the age of 50. They have to eat that diet from a very young age, and then they remain healthy.
So we wouldn't really think about diet necessarily related to memory, but it plays a big role. And exercise, you mentioned to me, is key.
It plays a very big role. In fact, it looks like the optimal amount of exercise is 150 minutes a week. I tell all of my patients it's 1,800 seconds of exercise 5 days a week. And they try to do that, and that does help memory.
And we are looking at memory loss as, when should somebody go to the doctor? If you're forgetting your keys once in a while, or you can't come up with someone's name right away, is there a distinction between that's not something to worry about and you need to get to the doctor right away? How do we know?
Well, there are a few things you have to think about. Number one, you can't get overly concerned if you just occasionally forget where your keys are. If that's a rare occurrence, something might happen, like that happens once a week, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. If that starts to become more common, you may have an entity called minimal cognitive impairment or mild cognitive impairment. That's where you start to forget simple things, maybe on a daily basis. If that's occurring, you have to go see your physician for him to make sure that you don't have anything more serious that's affecting your memory.
And I think this is really important for people to know. They shouldn't just write that off as, I'm getting older, so of course I'm more forgetful. So you're saying go to the doctor right away when you start to see these changes. And what can be done to help from a scientific, medical standpoint?
Well, the thing that the doctor can do for you, he can do a very simple test called a mini mental exam. It only takes about 10 minutes, and he can compare your memory to the norm. And if that's significantly impaired, then he can do something to further investigate, just to make sure you don't have a more serious memory problem or condition that causes that.
And you said there are some very simple ways to distinguish if somebody has mild memory problems or perhaps does have Alzheimer's. How do you describe that key to knowing that it's something very serious?
Actually, it's relatively simple. Simple memory loss, or that minimal cognitive impairment, means you can still interact with your fellow human beings. You exist within society, you can drive, you can play golf, you can do everything well, except occasionally you forget things. If you have Alzheimer's disease, you start to retreat from society. You start to retreat from your social norms. So it's more than just memory. You start to have trouble with behavior, learning, reasoning. That means you could possibly have Alzheimer's disease.
And for people who want to do something about their memory problems, whether they're just starting out or really becoming concerning, there are simple steps that you can recommend to help people to remember better. What are some of those ideas?
Well, the biggest thing is a to-do list. I do a to-do list every day. That helps keep you on a particular pattern day by day. You usually start your to-do out list with certain things that are similar every day. And besides the to-do list, there are other things that make your life easier. If you do think you're having memory problems, you want to always carry a cell phone with you. Have all your key telephone numbers plugged into the speed dial of the cell phone. Make sure the cell phone is with you every day. Make sure the cell phone is charged. Leave it in your pocket. Go out of the house with it. That helps tremendously.
Always putting things back in the same place. Keys go here,
Right.
cell phone goes there.
And for some of my older patients, they forget to take their pills. It's very important to get a weekly pill box. Keep the weekly pill box filled. Have maybe your daughter or your son come over every Sunday and make sure the pills are in the box. And keep your pills and your cell phone and your wallet and your keys always in the same
place.
spot.
Dr. Power, thank you so much. You've given us some really great information, and one of the most important things is if you're starting to see memory changes, get to the doctor quickly.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on The Best Years today.
Thank you.
Now, to learn more about Alzheimer's and memory loss, visit the Alzheimer's Association website at alz.org/NJ. You can also contact Dr. Power at 609-693-9240. If your brain is getting a little flabby, the Ocean County Library can help you to exercise your mind.
We all know the benefits of exercising at a gym, but what about exercising at a library? Research shows the benefits of mental stimulation for older adults through the use of games. Several branches of the Ocean County Library sponsor mental workouts.
Brain games, as they're called, are a fun way for older adults to stay sharp. The idea for having a brain exercise program at the library came from two couples from Long Beach Island. A few years ago, they put together a 4-part program based on the book Mind Your Mind, a whole brain workout for older adults by Beatrice and Sarah Siegel. These brain games have become very popular and attendance is steadily growing.
Brain games seemed like a great idea for my wife and me to do in retirement to keep our brains active.
Brain games is a mind-stimulating opportunity at least once every 2 weeks.
According to the book Mind Your Mind, we need to exercise our brain in 9 different ways. The first one, metacognition, being conscious of learning or thinking. Memory, recalling what has already been learned. Flexible thinking, grouping ideas into different categories. Perception, sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch. Using language, remembering and understanding words. Reasoning, thinking that it is coherent and logical. Using numbers, math and counting. Spatial relationships, visualizing objects from different angles. And the last one, communication, transferring information using speech, hearing, reading, writing, touch, and sight.
The Library Brain Games program is very important because it keeps your mind sharp, and plus you meet many new people, and it's always a challenge.
They use different kinds of brain games. One's dealing with numbers, mathematics, others dealing with words, language, with communication, with flexible thinking, with perception, with several different kinds of skills.
The library also offers other brain game programs throughout its branches.
Demand for a brain games program has increased over the years, and participants have come up with lots of alternative activities. For example, at the Long Beach Island branch, participants take turns to bring in, share, and even create their own brain game exercises. The group meets twice per month for about an hour and a half. Other branches have similar programs. The Lacey branch has a senior game day where decks of cards and board games are available. The Manchester branch has Brain Joggers, a fun and interactive class filled with mental puzzles. And the Stafford branch offers a range of mental exercises to keep your brain sharp. Wherever you live in Ocean County, you're welcome at any of our branches to take part, have fun, and stay sharp.
I've noticed a change in myself, and I've noticed a change in the group. Myself, I feel a little more confident, and I'm having a lot of fun.
My favorite part of brain games is not only the puzzles themselves, which are a challenge, but meeting new people and making new friends.
There are also many other brain exercise books available, including puzzles, games, and brain teasers. For more information on any of these programs or books, call or visit your local library branch. You can also visit online at theoceancountylibrary.org. From the Long Beach Island branch of the Ocean County Library, I'm Desiree Behringer.
After the break, we'll meet seniors who are kicking it up with martial arts.